Right, hello, good morning, and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Friday, the 24th day of May 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive, and of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Ghana cedi depreciation bites hard. Businesses call for urgent interventions. Government, TALO, sign emissions reductions purchase agreement. Our partner TUC for better workers' salaries. New Force Movement founder assures. Constituency Watch. Esikado Ketan, Dr. Dankwa dares Bisu for seat. The Ghanaian Times. Ahead of December elections, learn from Rwanda genocide. UNDP resident coordinator cautions Ghanaians. Government TALO signed landmark emissions reduction purchase agreement. Hopsin Adoya granted 20,000 Ghana cedis bail over claim of detonating dynamites. GAG worried over mining in beleaguered forest reserves. Let's tackle obstetric fistula head on. First Lady. Daily Guide. AG fires NDC. I'm not persecuting Atuforcing. Hopsin Adoya gets 20K CD bail. Samira to launch World Share Expo 2024. No VAT deductions on SMO payments. KPMG. New Weekend Crusading Guide. Republic versus Kesela Atuforcing and two others. AG debunks bogus allegations by third accused. Konfanochi Teaching Hospital CEO under fire. Top lawyer petitions Otumfo to keep Professor Triadai Mensah away from Hill Konfanochi project. NPP Greater Accra Regional Chairman tours registration centers, advises NDC to stop raising false alarm. Information Minister visits New Crusading Guide as part of media tour. Aborichidan royal family challenges legitimacy of Kwesi Alagye. Stop parading, I'm sure it's yourself, as Gomar Fete chief. The Insight. Adamu's mining resources saga. Lands Minister must explain failure to comply with court orders on IMC. Solomon Owusu. AG impressed on me to falsify my testimony to implicate Atuforcing, witness tells court. Dark days in Ghana as another Nkrumah legacy is erased. Genocide in Gaza. U.S. officials threaten sanctions over ICC warrants against Netanyahu and Gallant. The Herald. Justice Minister defiles Attorney General's department. Moves from judge shopping to witness bribing. Ex-Maslog boss trial also mentioned. Kendo Friate's SML rot finally out, but unprofitable in quotes. Snitz Hotel pays 261,000 cedis acting allowance to CEO. NPP rebel. Hopsin Adoya granted bail. Ghana's climate change agenda boosted by TALO. The Informer. Corruption fight. Special prosecutor doing well. CDD declares. Terrorism fight on course as Baba Kamara officially introduced as ECOWAS special envoy. NCCE cries for funds. Nigerian gets 10 years for drug trafficking. Fight against climate change. Government's land policies game changer. Minister. EC rebuffs secret registration claim. Towards accident-free Volta Lake transportation. Ecos Oil donates life jackets to Germany boat owners. The Inquisitor. Sikasem trouble at La Palm. Over 3,000 monthly allowance for acting GM. Impeachment process against special prosecutor. It is unconstitutional. Who's saying this? Kwame Akufu, the lawyer. Ambassador Kamara introduced to President as ECOWAS special envoy on counter-terrorism. There is no such backlog. Dr. Atuforcing challenges Interior Minister. The Daily Statesman. Bold effort against deforestation. Government seals emissions reduction purchase deal with TALO. AG never coerces accused person in ambulance case. Ghana mobilizes $405,000 to combat obstetric fistula. Asantini AG SIGA to review mandates of SOEs to inform action. The New Finder, all set for CD mortgages for public sector workers upon Nkrumah. Ecobank Ghana named Ghana's best trade finance provider. Young women not ready to have kids urged to freeze eggs. And that's according to Dr. Edem Yaji of the Lister Hospital. NIA debunks NDC's allegations of issuing Ghana cards to minors. Daily Post. AG Godfrey Dami impressed on me to falsify my testimony to implicate Atuforce in witness tells court. Atuforce in trial. Godfrey Dami's day of reckoning has come. Sami Jemfi. SML swallows 720 million cedis of S-less 2.45 billion cedis. KPMG report. FDAG condemns sale of SNIT shares to Brian Achampon. The Catholic Standard. WA gets new bishop. Corruption in Ghana fueled by selfish gains. Pope Francis confirms women cannot be ordained deacons. Let's condemn same-sex marriage. Bishop Afuakwa. Humility, source of peace in the world and church. Pope Francis. Editorial. Will the Pualugu multipurpose dam ever see completion? And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV with me. On the show this morning, I have the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Northstone constituency. He's also the ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee in Parliament, the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Honorable, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Doc. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Okay, so Nana Akumia, who is the Vice Chair of Baumia 2024 and also MD of STC, will join us shortly on the show. But if you're thinking of getting a toothpaste that will take care of the entire family and save you some money, especially in these difficult times, the recommended family toothpaste is KEL 360 toothpaste. It's approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. KEL 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. KEL 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint, gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso. It's available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. Call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. KEL 360 toothpaste. Happy, smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. The pains of climbing the stairs, especially when you're not exercising, could be challenging irrespective of your age, but worry no more. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices. And guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and it comes in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lifts and Elevators at Sakumono or just call them on 0200 535-515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movement. All right. So, Sammy, exactly a week ago, you broke the news about a petition that you had submitted that very morning to Shraj. And beyond that day, in the last 1 week, there have been quite a lot of developments. In fact, when you were telling us about a petition, you didn't tell us that you had gone to take fertilizer from the minister. And you didn't tell us that you had all the opportunities of asking him all the questions that you could ask him. And you just went to, acting in very bad faith, went to town. But what's the status of the case now? And what has happened over the last week? I've read a lot of interviews. I'm told that on one program, I don't know if it's Joy FM, you were actually on the show with the minister.
Yeah, Doc, let me...
And have you returned the fertilizers?
Let me begin by extending very warm Friday greetings to you and to our distinguished viewers across the world. I would like to convey sincere gratitude to you for the generosity last week. You gave us a lot of time to discuss this all-important matter, my complaint to Shraj on the imminent purchase of Snate's hotels by Rock City Limited, a company owned by the Honorable Brian Champon, the serving Minister for Food and Agriculture. The incorporation documents in my possession confirm that he is the sole shareholder, the sole beneficial owner, and is one of two directors of Rock City. I would like to confirm to you that following my complaint to Shraj on Monday, the 20th of May 2024, Shraj promptly responded by this letter signed by the principal registrar of Shraj for the commissioner, Mr. Daniel Afechi, under the heading Petition against the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNET, and Honorable Brian Champon on the sale and prospective purchase of SNET's 60% stake in Ace Hotel Investments. Dear Sir, I write in acknowledgement of your complaint brought before the Commission, dated 16th May 2024, and to respectfully inform you that the Commission will revert to you in due course. Yours sincerely, signed Daniel Afechi, Principal Registrar for the Commissioner of Shraj. So I can confirm to you this morning that Shraj has acknowledged the complaint, and by this letter, I am to hold myself in readiness to assist them in the investigations. I'm also reliably informed that Shraj has written to all the parties in the matter, to SNET and to the Honorable Brian Champon, to respond to the contents of my complaints. Doc, we also do know that on Sunday, the 19th of May, 2024, SNET also issued a statement following our discussions here on Friday last week. The statement was signed and issued by the management of SNET. And SNET, by this media release, has confirmed that the matters I raised, that indeed they are selling 60% of their shares in their hotel investments. Indeed, that matter is accurate, it is true. They have proceeded to provide timelines in their statement on how the whole transaction began, when the transaction advisor was engaged, and where they are at the moment. It is clear from the SNET statement that the fears that I held, that time is of essence in this matter, and that if I did not go public and I did not petition Shraj, this deal will have been sealed and finalized without public attention. This statement confirms that. Because if you read the SNET statement, paragraph 11, it states, the process of getting a strategic investor is in its final stages and therefore not yet concluded. So my intervention, going public and petitioning Shraj, is perhaps what will help protect those prized hotels, very valuable state assets as they are. You do know, Doc, that These are the finest hotels we have had as a country for decades. Indeed, as we speak, Labadi Beach Hotel is one of our foremost 5-star hotels. Paid dividends to government only last year, 25 million Ghana cedis in dividends. The year before, 10 million. Very profitable entity. We do know that La Palma as well has been profitable for many years until recently. Same for Elmina. And if you look at their prime locations, you look at the value of land, these are not assets that should be treated shabbily, particularly when you are looking at workers' conditions. You are talking about their pensions after they have retired. SNIT is a strategic investor that makes long-term investments so that as workers retire, it can be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, those investments should be able to take care of the contributions they have collected from our workers. So the SNIT statement, even though the statement fails to respond to the core issues, SNIT did not respond to the issue of conflict of interest. They did not respond to the issue of abuse of process. The fact that lawyers of minority shareholders at Ridge Royal have protested, and they have now belatedly written to them and trying to make good the terms of the first April 1999 shareholders agreement. SNIT evades all of those matters. The constitutional requirements under Article 78 and Article 98, SNIT did not respond to any of those. But I am glad that if you read paragraphs 12 and 13 of the SNIT statement, we shall be delving into these matters when Shraj really opens the investigations. If you look at paragraph 12, the management of SNIT states, it was mentioned on the Metro TV discussion that the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Shraj, has been petitioned to conduct a full-scale investigation into the sale of SNIT hotels. 13, given the impending investigation by Shraj, management of SNIT will not comment further. SNIT will cooperate fully with Shraj throughout its investigation process. So, from this statement, we get a commitment from Shraj that, from SNIT, pardon me, that they will fully cooperate with the Shraj investigations. That is what they must do legally, and I am looking forward to meeting them at the Shraj investigations. Then significantly, that same day, Monday, the 20th of May, Organized Labor held a press conference. Very significant development. And I have a copy of the press statement here, a 2-page statement.
So I want us to, first of all, we play this on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I want us to watch excerpts of that interview. Then you can pick the parts of the statement that you want
that is
to focus on.
Okay.
Should I go ahead? Yeah, thank you. We want government to know that these funds are not government funds. These funds are pension funds. And pensions are guarded by the Act 766. Issues with that statement. And we have our
hold the view that the process was flawed. Our reps on SNIT board were very clear in their demand that for a number of reasons, the process be halted. But from all indications, it appears the process is going on. And in fact, they are even speeding it up. And we don't think that is right. We do not think that the regulations that guide the sale of state assets were followed. We do not think that the necessary due diligence was done. We cannot imagine that state properties will be sold to a minister of state. For us, it smacks of state capture, and that should be stopped, and stopped immediately. And if the Minister for Pensions, who is also Minister for Employment and Labor Relations, failed to stop SNET, we workers of Ghana, we own the funds. We will stop that process. We, at the May Day, requested that we wanted to meet with President on this matter. You may recall that we asked the President to convene a meeting with leaders of organized labor to discuss SNET, and this is one of it. And our reps on the board of SNET had intimated that things were going on that require the meeting between President and the leadership, and we didn't want to bring this up in public. We still insist that the President should make time for us to discuss this and many other issues about SNET that our reps had brought to our attention. May 6th, today is May 20th. We expect that the President will invite us as soon as possible, because there are many other issues that we need to raise. There are many other issues our reps have brought to our attention that we need to discuss with the President himself. We will not allow pension funds to be toyed with. And this is our last warning. This is the last warning to those who are in charge of this country, that workers of Ghana will not allow our pension funds to be used anyhow, especially when assets of the pension fund is going to be sold to the Minister of State. This is not right. As for your second question about this position on the proposed sale of 60% of SNET's stake in its investment in hotels. At a meeting held today, 20th May 2024, the workers' representatives on the Board of Trustees of SNET briefed the top leadership of organized labor about the proposed sale of 60% of SNET's interest in some hotels. The workers' representatives informed the leadership that they had collectively raised objections to the process and had advised that the process be halted. We in organized labor find it extremely difficult to understand why, first, SNET's interest in 6 hotels will be packaged and sold as if all the hotels are in the same financial situation. 2, we find it difficult to understand why the original proposal of the sale of SNET's interest in 6 hotels has now reduced to 4. We hold the view that this renders the whole process null and void. And 3, we find it difficult to understand why the proposed payment terms varied from the original MOU based on the recommendations of the transaction advisor. We also find it difficult to understand why SNET's interest in these hotels should be sold to a company owned by a Minister of State. We do not think that this is right.
Our due diligence was not done. And we, as the major stakeholders for pension funds, we must not sit idle. And I repeat, our pension funds are used for Chaskele. We will not allow it. We are not happy with the due diligence that was done. And that's why we are calling that it should be cancelled immediately. Issues with that statement. And we have outlined our issues in our statement. We don't agree with that assertion. We think proper due diligence was not done. And we, as the major stakeholders for pension funds, we must not sit idle. And I repeat, our pension funds are used for Chaskele. We will not allow it. We are not happy with the due diligence that was done. And that's why we are calling that it should be cancelled immediately.
All right, so these are excerpts of organized labor's thing. So you can conclude on the first.
Yes, so I'm glad that you have played the footage from that significant press conference organized by the TUC Secretary General, Dr. Yauba, and the CLOCSAC boss, Dr. Bampoado. It is clear, listening to them, that contrary to claims last week, you recall that last week, our good friend Nana Akomia sought to suggest that there are reps on the board and they haven't complained, so probably I am crying louder than the bereaved and may not have basis, since we haven't heard from the reps on the board that they are probably okay with the transaction. It is now confirmed beyond any scintilla of doubt that organized labor do not and has not supported this transaction throughout the process. And indeed, if you read the statement at the briefing from the reps on the board to the leadership of organized labor, they stated emphatically, quote, the workers' representatives informed the leadership that they had collectively raised objections to the process and had advised that the process be halted. So this is not a matter of everybody agreeing, the key stakeholders, those who are reps of organized labor on the board, seeing nothing wrong, and that I am coming from outside and trying to create mischief. It is now settled beyond any iota of doubt that organized labor is vehemently and has always been vehemently opposed to this transaction. Of course, questions arise as to what options were available to organized labor, to their reps on the board. You heard the TUC Secretary General say that they didn't even know that the process was so far advanced, that they thought that when they had asked at the board that the process be halted, they thought that it had been halted, and they were waiting for a meeting with the president. They had requested a meeting with the president. Indeed, I am aware that after this press conference, they sent a separate petition to the Jubilee House reminding the president of their demand for a meeting. Now, you heard organized labor at that press conference say that they have been concerned about a number of issues at SNIT. During the week, I have been serializing further documents which should give credence to what organized labor is talking about and more. You know that my strategy has been never to put out all the documentations. There's still a lot more we'll be putting out in the coming days. And if you look at an earlier transaction, details of which I have put out, the 2022 purchase of Kumasi Catering Hotel by the Rock City Hotel,
Catering Guest House,
the Catering Guest House, which is now called the Grand Regency Hotel. So SNIT has 25% shares in that hotel. I have, over the last few days, put out details of that transaction, the minutes, the final minutes of negotiations, dated 16th March 2022, the meeting chaired by Mr. Kofi Osafumafu, Deputy Director General. And it's interesting that virtually all the documentation I have from within SNIT, Mr. Kofi Osafumafu is the one who's been leading all of this.
in charge of
yes, and he appears really trigger happy about these transactions, and is now set to seal the deals as the Director General, with his boss having been disgracefully removed. Now, if you look at the facts of the 2022 transaction, you see that the 25% shares of SNIT, valued at 8.6 million, that is not the value that Rock City bought it at.
How?
From the minutes, and indeed I have the final confirmation, the payments from Rock City.
The evaluation was done in cedis.
It was done in cedis, yes.
Okay.
Now, if you read the 16 March 2022 minutes carefully, you see that Mr. Kofi Osafo-Mafu reveals that their independent valuers have brought their figure of the 25% shares. It's 8.6 million. Then, during the meeting, they indicate that they would like to peg that figure to the dollar because of how the currency is depreciating. Rock City refused. They then also said that, why not make sure that payments are done according to the prevailing exchange rate? Rock City refused. If you read the minutes, it's as though Rock City was the one calling the shots. Now, what is shocking is that eventually they allow Rock City to agree to pay 7.4 million. So ab initio, Ghanaian workers, SNIT, loses 1.2 million. Because 8.6 million.
But did the minutes tell you why they agreed on a figure below the valuation figure?
The minutes, as I have indicated, you see Rock City just really calling the shots. Say, no, we don't like this. We won't do this. We will not accept this. Take, for example, Mr. Chum's insistence that they peg this to the dollar. And Mr. Samuel A. Chum is General Manager, Investment and Development, SNIT. Page 2 of the minutes provides. Mr. Chum followed with a suggestion that the sale price should have been in United States dollars and pegged at the current dollar rate to the cedi. This was declined by the Rock City team. He further insisted on his earlier submission, arguing that the Rock City Ghana makes an offer in US dollars. This was again declined.
That's negotiation. Everybody's seeking their interest.
Yeah, good. So who is seeking the interest of workers? And
SNIT.
who is
SNIT should be.
And why should SNIT not be insistent? So when we make the case that looking at the track record, the unholy alliance between SNIT and Rock City, we don't have confidence that there will even be value for money, apart from the fact that fundamentally, Rock City, the Honorable Champo, should be nowhere near this transaction. I have always maintained, and you know, for more than 60 years, that ministers of state, public officials, should not partake in the sale of government assets, of state assets. I've always maintained. The records at the Supreme Court is clear. Always maintained. And look, civil society organizations, I have heard Professor Yanka, I've heard Professor Ajimandia, virtually everybody who has spoken on this matter say that it is wrong. It's wrong. Public officials, ministers of state should go nowhere near these transactions. And look, it is not for just cosmetic reason. It wasn't for just cosmetic reason that in our constitution, Article 78, Article 98, MPs, ministers of state, you need permission from the speaker if you want to hold office of profit, if you want to engage in transactions of this nature. So the afterthought now that, I'm a non-executive director, makes no difference.
Maybe let's leave that to Shraj.
Yeah, so Shraj will determine. But it makes no difference. Look, you are the sole beneficial owner. You are the sole shareholder. I mean, when Rock City makes profit, where does it go to? Where do the profits go to? So these claims don't hold water. And if you look at what happened at the Grand Regency Hotel in Kumasi, we are absolutely convinced that there will be no value for money in this transaction, apart from all the other fundamental and constitutional issues we have raised. Then I have also, in the course of the week, put out a lot more intercepted documents. I have put out very shocking details about how the transaction advisor was selected and the cost to SNIT. You have seen that document. So the transaction advisor is SEM Capital. And by a letter from the Central Tender Review Committee dated 24 December 2019, the Central Tender Review Committee writes, the committee acknowledges receipt of SNIT's response in a revised evaluation report addressing the issue raised. Based on documentation presented to the committee, concurrent approval is hereby granted SNIT to engage the recommended tenderer, Messrs. SEM Capital, at a contract price of $491,986 United States dollars, inclusive
Why
of
is this
taxes.
contract indexed in dollars?
Great question. So when SNIT is engaging others, is going to pay a transaction advisor, they are paying in dollars. When Bra Champon is coming to buy their hotel, they sell it in cedis. That one, as soon as Bra Champon refuses, I'm not paying you in dollars. They say, okay, we beg you, sorry for raising it. You pay in cedis.
I mean, even index in dollar payable in cedis.
Yes. No, they didn't. They said, no, we are not indexing. And yet, the same deal, you are paying the transaction advisor in dollars. And look at the quantum. SNIT that claims that we are struggling, we are in financial difficulty. I've spoken to many experts. They say that, look, this tops should not go beyond $100,000. Many experts, $50,000 to $100,000. Only this morning on my way here, I listened to lawyer Senanu, who co-chairs the Civil Society Coalition against corruption. He said he's been doing this. He's a known transaction advisor. To him, he will not charge anything beyond
$500,000.
Yes, and yet SNIT is happy.
Did he apply?
Well, he didn't say if he applied. He didn't say. But whether he applied or not, we should be concerned. You are allowing others to deal with you in cedis. As soon as they say objection, you apologize, you drop it. They are paying you in cedis. And even that paying in installments, we are getting no value. See how fast the cedi depreciates. And then $500,000 in US dollars. But you see, that is not all. If you pay careful regard to these central tender review documents I have put out, there's a very interesting development. So when SNIT sent the evaluation report to the Central Tender Review Committee, the review committee, signed by David Quist, 20th December 2019, sends this response. All-in consultancy services for a transaction advisor for SNIT divestiture of its hotels in Ghana. Please refer to the letter number PMSSA 036 and dated 12 December 2019, which was submitted on the above subject. The committee at its 63rd sitting on Thursday, 19 December 2019, reviewed the Social Security and National Insurance Trust evaluation report and notes the failure of one evaluation panel member to sign the report. SNIT is hereby requested to ensure that the panel member signs the report as a condition for granting concurrent approval. Signed, David Quist. So I'm still
Was this done?
Yes, it was done later on, and then they came for. But the question is, why did this panel member refuse to sign?
But you say he subsequently signed.
No, they went back and presented another evaluation report. So we are looking for this panel member who did not sign and who refused to sign. We are looking for him or her. So a lot of strange things are happening at SNIT. Very, very strange things. Now, I have also put out during this week further documentation. You see, in the SNIT statement that they put out on the 19th of May, SNIT left out a very vital information when they stated the chronology. SNIT concealed from the Ghanaian public that they have asked the transaction advisor to grant Rock City unfettered access to the hotels. Let me read 1st November 2023. This is addressed to the Chief Executive Officer, Golden Beach Hotels, Ghana. And the Golden Beach Hotels are La Palm and then Elmina. Attention, Nana Dumtie Onwona Kwache. Dear Madam, due diligence by Rock City Hotel. This is to bring to your attention that Rock City Hotel has been selected as a preferred strategic investor for La Palm Royal Beach Hotel and Elmina Beach Resort. As part of the negotiation process, Rock City Hotel is required to conduct a final due diligence on La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, and Elmina Beach Resort. Rock City Hotel's due diligence request list has been attached. The names and contact details of Rock City's hotel representatives are, and it provides them Jessica Krenzel, Anita Buachi, Louisa Okain. Please assist them accordingly. Counting on your usual cooperation. Thank you. Yours faithfully. This is signed by Ebenezer Barnes, Transaction Advisor for SNIT. 7th December 2023, Rock City then writes to these hotel managers. Due diligence by Rock City Hotel for strategic investment. We are pleased to inform you that Rock City has been selected as the preferred strategic investor for La Palm, Royal Beach Hotel, and Elmina Beach Resort. We are enthusiastic about the prospect of a successful partnership and believe that our strategic partnership will yield mutual benefits. As we move forward with the negotiations, one crucial step in the process is to conduct a final due diligence on La Palm Royal Beach Hotel and Elmina Beach Resort. The purpose of this due diligence is to ensure that both parties have a comprehensive understanding of the current operational, financial, and legal status of the hotels. Upon receipt of the required documents, our team of experts will conduct a thorough review, which may include but will not be limited to financial records, operational procedures, and legal documentation, to facilitate a smooth and efficient due diligence process. We kindly request your cooperation in providing the necessary information as well as access to relevant personnel, counting on your usual cooperation. Thank you. So, whilst at the board, organized labor, all their reps have said, halt the process. We have concerns. Wait. You see, as recent as 7 December 2023, Rock City is engaging the management of these hotels, demanding documents, meeting their personnel. And SNIT conceals this very important information from the Ghanaian public. When Ghanaians ask for full disclosure, do just that, full disclosure. Don't conceal vital information. So, this information has been added to the Shraj petition to make the case that, look, this deal is being finalized. They are moving on. So, urgency is required. Look, it's been about a week. We broke this story here last Friday. All of us must be shell-shocked that a whole week, not a single statement from government on this matter, from the president.
Why must he speak?
Why shouldn't he?
SNIT, the entity, has issued a statement.
It's not good enough.
And says it's going to cooperate with Shraj.
It is not good enough.
Should that not be enough?
It's not good enough. Look,
why?
Civil society organizations, the academia, former SNIT director generals, all the experts who have spoken on this matter have said that the president must step in. Look, organized labor at their press conference, they didn't mince words. They said the president, these are all his appointees. As for SNIT, they will continue to do what they want to do and will try to justify their actions. Who supervises? You are the boss. You are the president, commander-in-chief. These are all your agents and assigns. They act in your name. They just have delegated authority. And this is the president who told us that as for him, he will take very strong exception to people coming into his government and doing business. Have you forgotten? He said that those who want to do business, who want to make money, they should stay in the private sector. That's where money is made. Now, your cabinet ministers, your appointees, are doing brisk business, fat business. They want all our hotels. And you are silent. You are quiet. It's been a week. And the president has not intervened in this matter.
Right.
Look, as I conclude, Doc, I have been at the center of very, very unfair attacks.
By who?
The Honorable Brother Champon himself on Joy FM.
Oh, but you were on the show with him?
Yes.
So you had the opportunity of defending yourself?
Yeah, and I did.
So that's not unfair.
And
he didn't say it behind you.
And no, it's the contents of what he said. You know, and if you listen to a lot of the MPP communicators, They have sought to present me as anti-Ghanaian business, anti-Ghanaian investors, a mischief maker. They have even brought my 16 years ago matter with the Honorable Jacob Echebi-Lamte and making all kinds of unfounded claims about that case. Look, for the benefit of your viewers, and I'll leave these copies with you, I have brought all the rulings and judgments in the Honorable Jacob Echebi-Lamte case. For 2 years, the lawyers of the Honorable Jacob Echebi-Lamte raised a preliminary objection at the Supreme Court that this case should be dismissed. Some of the things they are saying today, oh, it's frivolous, it's just a personal attack, it should be thrown out. By a 9-0 decision, the Supreme Court threw them out, rather, and said that there is merit in our case, we have basis to proceed, we should be heard. They are not talking about that. 10th November 2011, I have that ruling here. The quorum was Atuguba JSC, who presided, Sofa Akufu, JSC, Brobe JSC, Adenyera, JSC, Owusu, Doche JSC, Bafubone, Ahite JSC, Akoto Bamfu, Mrs. JSC. 9-0. They said that they even commended us, Dr. Mani Boama and I, that these are the kind of citizens that should be encouraged and that we should proceed, we should open our case. So the things they are saying today, that, oh, it was such a frivolous matter, we were thrown out and all of that. Yes, in the final judgment, we didn't win on some technicalities. It was a 6-3 decision. But you see, I'll conclude with what Sofa Akufu JSC said. It was as if she was prophesying. Mm-hmm. When she delivered her dissenting judgment. She was in the minority, the 3.
Okay.
Yes. And she predicted that this day will come.
What did she say?
Akufu MSJSC, and I'm reading from the judgment of 22nd May 2012. I have been privileged to read beforehand the opinion read herein by my learned brother Tuguba JSC, and for the reasons he gives therein, I am in full agreement with his conclusions. However, there are a number of observations that I wish to make concerning a number of matters of particular concern to me. Firstly, I have become extremely concerned of late that in the handling of matters involving the interpretation and or enforcement of our Constitution, there is a growing tendency for this court to become, in my view, unnecessarily ensnared by the particularities and specificities of the facts of the suit and technicalities of the manner in which it has been pleaded. The big picture being constitutional interpretation and enforcement and its necessary legal impact, not only on the individual parties to the suit, but more importantly, also on the generality of the Ghanaian citizenry for the present and future. For the present and future, it seems to me, sometimes tends to become of secondary importance. In my humble view, it is incumbent on this court, whether a matter comes before it by way of a writ invoking its original jurisdiction, to trawl through the pleadings in a quest to identify the core constitutional questions in issue, rather than just what the parties claim to be matters in issue. In the instant matter, the real issue was unfortunately obfuscated. Furthermore, once this court has determined that its jurisdiction has been properly invoked, it behoves it to ensure that the purpose of the court's original jurisdiction is not defeated by technicalities or procedural errors that do not amount to miscarriage of justice. The primary concern being to serve the greater interests of the citizens of the Republic of Ghana. In this matter, the core issue was whether or not in the administration and management of public lands, the government and the Lands Commission had proceeded in accordance with the Constitution or had in any respect contravened any part of it, in word or in spirit. that the proper administration and management of the land and natural resources of Ghana is of crucial importance is evidenced by the sheer fact that a whole chapter is reserved for in this constitution. My brother Atuguba discusses quite extensively in his opinion hearing the rationale for such treatment, and in particular the raison d'etre for the establishment and structure of the Lands Commission. I will therefore not belabor that point. All I wish to add is that the Lands Commission is not intended to be a mere rubber stamp of ministerial fiat, but rather an important catalyst for sound land policy formulation, administration, and management. When that role is not allowed to operate, or when the arrangements made in the Constitution for guiding land management and administration are ignored, and the institutions that have been specifically earmarked to function in relation to these responsibilities are for whatever reason ousted or sidelined, then we have operations and activities that are not in consonance with the Constitution. In this case, one of the clearest manifestations of non-compliance with the Constitution was the controlling role played by the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing, to the virtual exclusion of the minister responsible for lands and natural resources, to whom the Constitution has assigned such role. Finally, in fulfilling our task herein, it was incumbent upon us to take into due account Article 257, which vests public lands in the President on behalf of and in trust for the people of Ghana, including lands vested in the government for the public service of Ghana or acquired in the public interest, and Article 258, which establishes the Lands Commission and spells out in remarkable detail its functions and modus operandi. We also needed to take into account provisions such as Article 25 and 6, which, in my view, unfetter the manner in which the functions under Articles 257 and 258 may be exercised, so as to protect public lands, and in particular lands acquired by the Republic for specified use, such as lands in issue in this matter. Whilst the court cannot instruct or dictate to the government what policies it may take, the Constitution gives us the power, when called upon to do so, to examine such policies, to ensure that they are indeed in consonance with its provisions. That is part of our role in assuring good governance, and we must never shirk from it.
All right. Okay.
God bless Ifa Akufo.
All right. So, Nana, we'll take a break. And then when we return, we'll hear you on this matter. I'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Nana Komia and Samuel Kujatua Blackout. But what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, it's God and Mullah got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on our networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some mola. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more mola, more power. This game is regulated by a National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Ayesoko, that could some more down be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control over every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Not for persons under 18. Is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been tested and tried. It's indeed the best. Blue Jeans Energy Drink is for bold and active men and women. So go on, grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide, and you can reach Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208-128-190-055-001-0000. Nana?
Yeah.
Senate hotels.
Well, Randy, you must forgive me. I'm recovering from a cold, so my voice is not as it used to be. So
it's lost the olive oil.
Yeah, yeah. So you must forgive me. And,
we're happy you were able to make it.
Yeah. Now, last week,
Yes.
Samuel Kujato brought up this matter of the SNIT selling a percentage of their shares in some of these hotels. And he thought that there has to be some investigation, particularly because of the person who is reported to have won the bid to buy the SNIT hotels. And, you know, all of us said, well, these are public properties, and under normal circumstances, we expect that the disposal of public properties should be done in a transparent way. I mean, in every normal transaction. More so when the person involved is somebody who we can describe as politically exposed. I mean, I am a politically exposed person. Samuel Kujato is a politically exposed person. Even you, we can put you as a politically exposed person. So if any of us are involved in any transaction that involves the sale of public assets, you want to make sure that the process is even more policed, that the person involved hasn't used his position, his or her position, to influence the process. So when Samuel Kujato brought this up, all of us were in support that there has to be, if Samuel Kujato suspects that the process is flawed or could be flawed, and because of the personality involved, why not? Let's go into it. Because all of us want to see transparency and accountability, especially when there's public property involved. So there's no problem. And I had cautioned him that he has to be careful not to pass judgment. Because if you establish criminality, then you don't ask for investigation, you go to court. Now after that, Senate has responded, and there's been all kinds of interested commentary on it. So the matter is, and Sami has told us that SHRAG has received the petition and they've acknowledged, so we expect that SHRAG will go into it, and SHRAG will do an investigation and bring us results that will guide us, you know. So really, I don't have an issue at all. But because of the commentary that I've arisen, various issues have come up. Now, two things. Are we saying that the process has been flawed, or a politically exposed person? I mean, we are worried because it seems like a politically exposed person won the bid. So there are two issues. Is it that the process is flawed? If the process is flawed, then it doesn't matter who the person who won the bid is. The process is flawed. And if we can show that the process is flawed, it's flawed.
Labour takes both positions.
Labour seems to take both positions. Yes. That the process is flawed.
So do I.
Okay, so the process is flawed. And two, even if the process is not flawed, it should not be sold to a politically exposed person.
Yes.
Okay. Now, and then when you listen to as you were playing the footage of the Labour, I was trying to make some notes as to what you were saying. That the TUC General Secretary, I heard him say that the process, one, he says they do not think that the process has been followed, and that they do not think that due diligence too has been followed. So he doesn't show us.
And that their reps on the board raised issues. They had preliminary objections to the thing and asked for it to be halted. Unknowing to them, unknowingly, SNIT was continuing with the process.
Okay.
And what so on the basis of that, on May Day, they requested to meet the president, and it wasn't just
Yes,
about
yes, I heard all of that. The process being flawed, and the sentiment that some monies are being misused, SNIT monies are being misused, because they said that state property cannot be sold to a minister. We will not allow pension funds to be toyed with. Okay. Randy, let me see if I can look at the issues one by one.
Okay.
As for SNIT investments, over the years, you can make a good case for SNIT to divest itself from control of businesses. You can make a good case for it over the years. Look, SNIT owns Aluworks. You know Aluworks?
Yes, Tema.
Yeah. We all know
They still own it?
Yes. We all know the situation with Aluworks today. They are losing money. So they are losing pension funds as we speak. SNIT used to own HFC with Bank of Ghana and SIC. They've divested the shares, and now they just have a little bit of it. It's now Republic Bank. SNIT is now making money after they divested the shares, the controlling shares, and now they are making money from HFC, now Republic Bank. Do you know, you remember the Trust Bank?
Yes.
It used to be owned by SNIT.
Yes.
They were losing money, big time. It was bought by EcoBank. SNIT divested the shares. Since EcoBank bought Trust Bank, they've been paying dividend to SNIT, shoring up pension monies. Indeed, the dividend that EcoBank pays to SNIT as a result of buying the shares in Trust Bank is more than what SNIT gets from all the hotel investments. You know, SNIT used to own SSB, Social Security Bank, those days. Is there, and this is over a long period. SNIT used to own SSB, Social Security Bank. They were not making anything. It was bought by Societe Generale. And they started paying SNIT dividend. Even though the shares had been reduced, they were getting some money from it. SNIT used to own Merchant Bank. We all know what happened to Merchant Bank. Eventually, 2014, it was bought by Fortis. And now it is now called Universal Merchant Bank. SNIT is now making money from it. You take...
Just clarify something for me. If they sell, how do they continue to make money?
They still have shares.
Okay.
Yes.
So they sold part.
They sold part. Okay. But this one, they are selling part. So the controlling interest, when they have controlling interest, they don't make money. It's when they divest their shares and to a majority shareholder and get some 30%, then they get dividends. They shore up pension funds. Look, you take La Palm, since SNIT bought it from the original group. They spent over $50 million in buying the place and all of it, and the investment. They haven't gotten 2 cedis from La Palm as we speak. So pension monies is being lost as we speak. Go to Busua Beach, owned by SNIT. They can't even pay electricity bills at Busua Beach. Electricity, they can pay. As we speak. Go to Elmina Beach Hotel. The rooms are empty. You go there, you cannot sleep there. The last time I was there 3 years ago, I was so upset. Elmina Beach is losing money big time. In fact, the last time SNIT went to the Public Accounts Committee, they were told to speed up the getting an investor and reducing their shares. When they went to Public Accounts Committee, Auditor General, look at Auditor General's report when it comes to these hotels. So the case that some pension, my friend from would not allow pension funds to be toyed with, and would not allow Charles Kelly, my good friend, was saying, it is like rather Smith is losing money through this sale. No. The records show clearly that these businesses are costing the pensioner monies. Lapam, Elmina, Busua, even Labadi. Labadi was losing money up to 2017. Then they changed the management and brought in some local management. But even Labadi, if you look at the return on the investment, it's not much. Even Labadi. But for the rest, they are losing money big time as we speak. So pensioners' money is being drained. And when you look at the record of SNID divestment of its shares, they are making monies from the divestment where they don't have controlling shares. And you know the reasons.
Because they don't manage.
You see, because once SNID has controlling shares, government or whoever is going to appoint MD and all of that and all of that and all the problems. This is it. So the economic case for SNID to remove itself from controlling shares cannot be faulted. The figures are there. So this business about they are toying with pension funds and they are playing Charles Kelly is neither here nor there. And when you look at the record of SNID divestment from HFC, Trust Bank, Merchant Bank, SSB, right through, you see that they started making money when they gave away their controlling shares. Now these hotels are losing money. It makes sense that they divest controlling shares. So what is the issue now? The issue now should be, how is the process managed? And the person who bought it. Let me look at the person who bought it first. Now, Samuel Kujato also says that it should not be bought by a politician. I am neutral in the matter once the process is fair. Because politicians engage in business, don't they?
Yes.
They engage in business.
Yes, if they follow the rules.
Yeah. You engage. If you are a lawyer and you come into politics, let's say you are a minister or a member of parliament, and you still want to continue private practice as a lawyer, you are allowed. You apply, you state it that I'm so and so, I'm a lawyer, or I have a business here, and the speaker permits you to engage in your business. So politicians are allowed to do business. It is not a crime.
Once they follow
the due process. When I went to Parliament, I had gone in literally straight from school, just 1 or 2 years after school. So I didn't have a business of my own. I was working in a company, so I resigned. So I didn't have a business of my own to apply to the speaker to continue the business. But all the people who were there, medical doctors, consultants, lawyers, they all applied because they already had their businesses running and they were given permission. So politicians can do business. Now, what is the procedure, the process? My understanding is that the bid of Brian Achiampong with his Rock City Hotel is at least $20 million more than the second bidder. At least $20 million more than the second bidder. So, if Brianna Chiampo is qualified to bid, unless somebody is going to show, we are now going to decide that a politician should not engage in business at all, then all of us are clear. I don't even want to politicize it by talking about a lot of politicians who have also bought state properties. Last week I gave you some information on that, but I don't even want to politicize it. But if the decision is that once you're a politician, you should not engage in any business, then all of us are clear. But otherwise...
No, it says, I think if it's in response to what Samir is saying, he's talking about acquisition of state assets. He's not talking about engaging in business.
But you see, how do you...
It raises the conflict of interest question.
Yes, but that is why there's a procedure. That's what I'm saying. Because of the potential conflict of interest, that is why I support an investigation. Let's go into how the process was conducted to ensure that Brianna Chiampo did not exercise undue influence. That is what I am interested in.
Do you agree that he should first of all have complied with the requirement of seeking permission, applying for, and being given permission in order to engage in any office of profit?
Oh, he hasn't applied?
He hasn't.
That is what Okuyato said last week.
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't applied?
Yeah, that was the case
He
he made.
confirmed when we met on Joy.
No, if he hasn't applied...
He confirmed that he hasn't applied.
No, but that's...
I have the full list of
No,
47
no,
MPs.
that's a technical thing. If he hasn't applied, but he can always apply. You understand? Yeah, but I'm saying you can always apply. So let's say he has been late. But that is a technical thing that he hasn't applied. That is different.
Legal requirement.
Yes, but I'm saying that is different from saying that there's conflict of interest. Because that conflict of interest means that because he's a politician, he probably would use undue influence over the process.
It is at the center. It is because of conflict of interest. That's what that provision is. Can I read 78.3?
No, I know. I have applied for that.
Yeah, because of conflict of 78.
No, if he hasn't, if you say that,
that's one of the requirements
if you
for
say
Parliament
that,
to check.
If you say that he hasn't gotten the Speaker's permission to do business,
yes,
that's different from saying a politician. So what you're saying is that if he had applied and gotten that permission, then he can do it. That's what you're saying.
No, I have said that no politician should be allowed.
But that's your personal view. That's why you're not talking about law.
Yes, my personal
so
view.
your personal
and
view
that's
is that
why there's a private members bill in the works that I'm sponsoring.
But as we speak,
to deal with that.
Yeah.
But as we speak, I'm raising issues of conflict of interest
because of
the process, his involvement, and related to he not complying with Article 78.
So the conflict of interest, Shrag will deal with it.
Yeah.
Shrag will go through it and see.
That's gone there.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Shrag would establish if indeed the process was skewed in favor of Brianna Chiampo because of his position. So that one, we will look at it. We are all confident that Shrag will do a transparent job, and all the parties will go there, and they will go through the process. I don't have a problem with that. But as to the issue that he shouldn't have been allowed to take part because he's a politician. If you look at the adverts, nobody said that you can't take part if you're a politician.
They say because he's a government official.
Nobody said that if you are a government official, you can't take part. How long do you stay in government? In another 6 months, Brianna Chiampo will be out of government. So if the law or the regulation is that don't take part if you are a politically exposed person, then we know that from the beginning. We know that from the beginning, and so we are clear in our minds. But that's not what we have.
What do you make of Labour's assertion that their reps on the board reported to them that they raised issues with the transaction?
What issues did they raise?
Okay, they didn't give us those details.
Okay.
But they told us that their reps raised issues and asked that the process be halted until those issues are resolved.
You know, these Labour chaps, they are my friends.
Well,
But
they listed some of the concerns.
what are some of the concerns?
So we find it extremely difficult to understand why, one, SNIT interest in 6 hotels will be packaged and sold as if all the hotels are in the same financial situation. And
So it's an issue they raised.
It's an issue they raised.
Okay.
2, The original proposal of the sale of SSNIT's interest in 6 hotels has now reduced to 4. We hold a view that this renders the whole process null and void. Because
there's been an amendment of the process along the way.
Along the way, so you should have started afresh. And that's what the.
But 1 second.
That's what the.
If you thought that all the hotels should not be put in one basket, and so some have been removed, and they're not listening to you. From what you yourself you are reading.
No, that's not what they're saying.
That's what they say. Listen, 1 second, please. SSNIT, we find it difficult to understand. SSNIT interest in the 6 hotels will be packaged and sold as if all the hotels are in the same financial situation.
Yes.
2, the original proposal has now been reduced to 4.
Yes.
Now, in your first, you said that all the 6 should not be put in the same basket.
Yes.
So if it was reduced to 4,
yes.
Are they not taking a cue from you?
No,
that
was after.
Unless you're saying that, unless you want to suggest, unless you want to suggest that the 2 that were taken out were taken out on the basis of what they raised.
But
it was on the basis of that.
No, 1 second. You say that you raise objection to the 6.
Yeah.
To putting all the 6 together. As if they all
now
have
you
the
are
same.
saying that why should it be reduced to 4?
Yes.
Because you've started. We are raising issues with the procurement.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. Then what else are they saying? The
procurement law requires that when you start a particular process and it changes, you must start afresh.
Now they're saying that the proposed payment terms varied from the original MOU.
Yes.
Based on the recommendation of the transaction advisor.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a value for money issue.
And I'm saying to you that I know that Brian Achiampong, his bid is at least $20 million more.
How do you know that?
Yeah, but Nana, you're saying a different thing. You're saying a different thing.
Uh-huh.
The fact that
your bid can be more, but
yes,
that's not what
the fact that in a bidding
actually,
process, one bid is higher than the other does not mean that that value meets the valuation.
Exactly.
The point that Labour is raising is that there was a valuation of the assets, and that whatever is being agreed upon does not meet that valuation.
What was the valuation?
Well, they've not told us, and you have also not told us. You see, what the comparison we are giving us, Nana, is that you are comparing 2 bids.
The bids, yes.
Yes, but what should be happening
all
is
those bids could even be lower than the valuation.
So what we should be comparing
Yeah.
is whether, because Labour's point is not that his bid was lower.
But Labour's point is that they are not even talking about the valuation and the bid.
Yes.
They say payment terms.
Yes.
Yeah.
They say the payment terms varied from the original MOU.
Right.
That means there was an MOU already signed.
Yes.
Between who? So there must have been an MOU signed between parties.
True.
Yeah.
And you say that the payment terms have been varied.
Yes. Is that not a valid position to take? Is that not a valid concern?
The investigation by SHRAC will show.
Right.
But for now, since we're all just making comment, I'm saying that when it comes to value for money, Achiampong's bid was at least $20 million more than the second bid. So
no, maybe he has information.
Why? Are you the only person with information?
Maybe he has information. Unless you have contrary information.
Unless you have contrary information. So what do you have? No, what do you have? No, what do you have? Well, what do you have? What do you have?
You want to see what I have?
The king of transparency and accountability. You ask me.
I follow a timetable. You know that.
So when are you going to release that one?
The man is engaged in a rope and dope.
Muhammad Ali.
Let me follow my timetable.
So when are you going to release the bits? Tomorrow?
Don't worry.
So, Randy.
Yes, Nana.
I'm saying that in terms of the bidding, Achiampong's bid is at least 20 million more than the second bidder. The second bidder it's a company that is famous with estate construction. Okay. I don't want to mention the name. Okay. It starts with a D. Okay. Their bid is 20 million less than Brian Achiampong. Okay. In fact, there's some feeling that Achiampong's bid is too much.
Okay.
But that is it. And the record is there. And I thought organized labor will say that a champion, if they say that the valuation, the bidders did not meet the valuation, then you are making a case.
But did they meet?
I am sure.
From your checks, did they
I am
meet?
sure.
Okay.
I am sure. Because these places, they've been run down. You are losing money. The economic case for it, because every day that they remain on SNIT's books, they can't pay electricity.
Not all of them.
You can't pay, literally all of them. You can't pay staff. They can't pay SNIT contributions as we speak. They can't pay GRA tax as we speak. In fact, the pension funds are being bled when these hotels remain on the books. And all the instances where SNIT lets go of its controlling shares, you find out that they are not making money. But if somebody believes that because there's a politician involved, let's look at the process, I don't have a problem. In fact, the standard should be even higher when there's a politician involved. As for the politician being involved, like I'm saying, I'm neutral. But if it's left to the choice of the politician, if he's in business.
Once the transaction is above board.
Once the transaction is above board.
You're fine.
And once the politician is involved, the transaction should be seen to be above board.
Okay.
Because of the perception that there could be conflict
Let
of
me
interest.
read two comments
Okay,
from
before I continue.
an investment person from here. It says this SNIT hotel thing is disturbing. It says all the Serena hotels you see in East Africa are simply management agreements with the various governments. No government has sold shares to Serena. We did the same with Golden Tulip. So why do we sell the SNIT shares? So this is what SNIT should do. All the Radissons and Kempiskins we see are just under management agreements. If SNIT thinks it's about performance and profitability, then they should get a known brand to come manage the hotels. Selling of shares is a no-no. No one does that these days for hotels. Then he says the EcoBank takeover of TTB was more of a share swap, with SNIT taking bigger stake in EcoBank Ghana and the EcoBank Group. Don't forget, SNIT already had shares in both ETI, that's EcoBank Transnational something, and EcoBank
the
Ghana.
mother company.
Yes, don't forget, SNIT already had shares in both ETI and EcoBank Ghana before the takeover. Hence, they sought to consolidate their banking interest in the two entities.
Yes.
They say it was more of a share swap.
Yeah, but what we say is that the controlling interest was given up. SNIT still has shares. Otherwise, why are they making money from it?
Yes, they have shares in the...
Yes, they are making... Now, the bank is not controlled by SNIT. It's controlled by EcoBank. And SNIT is making money. In fact, the figures that... The last payment that they did, 2017, 2018, they paid SNIT 40 million cedis.
So you realize now that...
And let me deal with the first comment. What was it?
Okay, he says that all the Serena hotels, he also knows a lot about East Africa. He says all the Serena hotels you see in East Africa are simply management agreements with the various governments. No government has sold shares to Serena. We did same with Golden Tulip. So why do we sell the SNIT shares? This is what SNIT should do. All the Radissons and Kempiskis we see are just under management agreements. If SNIT thinks it's about performance and profitability, then they should get a known brand to come manage the hotels. Selling of shares is a no-no. No one does that these days for hotels.
Okay. You should get a known brand to come and manage. You sign a management contract.
Yes. Yeah. A known brand, yeah.
You know, that's what they did with Labadi Beach.
Which one is a known brand that they brought?
The Labadi Beach was being managed by a known brand. Yeah. It's a legacy hotel.
Yes,
from South Africa.
Legacy.
Yes.
But now Ghanaians have taken over.
Yes. Were they making money?
Yes.
No. You would find out that SNIT, the money they were making was not enough to pay their management fees. I mean, well, SNIT will bring out all of this. I don't have a problem. But you will find out that when it was under legacy hotels, they were not generating enough money to pay them. Because these management fees don't come cheap.
Yes.
They are hugely expensive.
Yes.
You have to pay them in dollars.
Yes.
And we
So
know,
another...
But even
option.
Lapam and the Ghanaians were paid dollars.
yeah.
So another option
Yes.
is to divest the shares and let somebody come in with their own money. You know, when people come in with their own money, their own...
What did we do in Lancaster? When the Golden Tulip
we
agreement
sold, we sold shares to, controlling shares to Lancaster. No, the Libyan people. What is the name?
Golden Tulip.
Golden Tulip.
Yes.
Yes. We sold shares to the Libyan people.
Yes.
And then they had a management with Golden Tulip.
Yes.
Yes. So...
And that's what we've done with Lancaster. We've signed
Lancaster is
a
which one?
management agreement. Golden Tulip is now Lancaster.
Yeah, Lancaster has bought the Libyan shares.
Okay.
So there are all kinds of ways of doing this. But what SNIT has proven is that when they give out the controlling shares, they screen themselves from all of this, that comes with public ownership and government control and all of that. And they make money. And they will show you that the record, all the divestment that they've made of their shares, they are making money from those divestments as against the one that they have controlling shares.
We should actually stop the state from running SNIT. If SNIT investment,
we should stop the pensions.
Yes, if it's unable to manage, and we are saying that is when they divest the shares.
But that's another question. That's different from what we are discussing now.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that from all what you're saying, it presupposes that...
Let's show from the records.
Yes.
And then when you want to look at that issue, we can look at that at a larger eye.
Fine.
Now, Samuel Kujato talked about the transaction advisor.
Yes.
Said it's SEM Capital.
Yes.
Yes, you want the Central Tender Review documents?
And you said the review, you said somebody said they could have done it for cheaper. And I asked that, why didn't they bid? Because the transaction advisor position was advertised. So if you thought you could do it cheaper, why didn't you go and do it for 100,000? Let me show you the figures.
Yes.
EY, those people who applied to handle the transaction, they bid $696,000. The famous KPMG, they bid $1.3 million. The famous Pricewaterhouse and Coopers, they bid $582,000. The famous Deloitte and Touche, they bid $514,000. SEM Capital, they bid $491,000.
491.
So they are the lowest. So they are the lowest. So if somebody comes and says that, why? What's the problem? No, maybe you have an issue.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, no, we're having a discussion.
Yeah, it's good.
So the bids were 600.
Which one was the 514?
514 was Deloitte and Touche.
Okay. And SEM was 491.
491.
Okay.
And Pricewaterhouse was 582. And KPMG was 1.3 million.
Okay.
So SEM is the lowest.
So SEM was chosen on the basis of
the bid.
The price.
Yes.
The price.
Yes.
Not all the other qualification criteria.
Like what?
the
price. I'm looking at the figures.
I'm saying financial is just one. They look at many other things. So there are bids where a company could bid more than 490 something.
Yes.
But on the basis of the other things in the qualification criteria, although their financial bid might be slightly higher, you get to choose.
Randy, obviously they were qualified. Otherwise,
I have not said that.
Yes. No, if you're raising issues. So you bid, I'm saying their bid as we speak was the lowest. That is a fact. Okay. The records will show. So it wasn't like something that had been skewed for some. I don't know these same people. But they are bid, because Samuel Kujato raised it, I looked at the figures. Who are they? I don't know them. I've heard the name, but I don't know them. Okay. You know me, I don't like this business. You are the people. Me, I'm just like my small politics.
You don't know them, but you know how much they bidded for.
Do I need to know them? Do I know Deloitte?
He has looked for the information.
Do I know Deloitte and Touche?
It's not clear what
do I know Deloitte and Touche? I don't have to know. Do I have to know them? I'm just looking at the figures. Yeah. So if you told me,
it's a fact that
all you need
know
is the information.
Yes.
Yeah, you know their bid. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yes. And
so, it's interesting that you're only interested in their bid. the figure, but you're not interested in the owners. That's all.
But
it's just an
owners-
observation.
But that's the most important.
It's just an observation.
The owners.
Just
What am
making
I
an
going to do with the owners?
I'm
Who
just
are the
making an
owners? Who are the
observation. I'm
owners?
just making an observation, that's all.
No, but who are the owners?
Oh,
Tell us.
since you are not interested in it.
No, tell me. Maybe I
Go
can
ahead.
be interested.
Go ahead. No, you are not interested, so go ahead.
But the man, he says he has the information. Then he won't give it to you. Then he's
No,
I
he says,
don't
he says
understand.
since you say you are not interested, it's fine.
Oh, I am interested. Show me. Show me. Who are
You
the
should have asked your sources, those who are giving you the figures. Why didn't you ask them?
It's okay. Let's move
So
on.
who are the owners of Deloitte?
Let's move on.
Who are the owners of Deloitte?
You don't know that.
You see, and what?
The owners are Mr. Deloitte and Mr. Tush.
The owners are Deloitte and Tush. They are Deloitte and Tush. And who are the owners of Pricewaterhouse?
Mr. Price and Mr. Waterhouse.
Yeah, so the owners are Mr. Seth. Samuel Kujeto, and you see, when you do that, you obfuscate your own issues. So when you brought in the transaction advisor and raised issues, I looked at the figures.
Yes.
And I realized that their bid was the lowest. Because you had said that somebody said they could do it for 100,000 when I came in. I said, why didn't they go and bid? If they had gone there and bid for 100,000 and they were not chosen, then we can raise issues. So my point is very simple. Is Brian Achiampong qualified to bid? Is there any regulation that prevents him from bidding? If there is, let's state it. We've been told that he hasn't applied to be given the permission to do private business. So that's something that can be cured easily. You can just apply to the speaker. In fact, the people who apply for that permission, sometimes they apply 1 year after they've been MPs and so on. So that is not a problem. But I'm sure Brian Achiampong himself will rectify that. Number two, is there an economic case or a business case for SNIT to reduce its controlling shares in these businesses? Is there an economic case? And I am very sure that SNIT will show that there is an economic case and that they are actually saving pensioners' monies by divesting some of this.
I'm not sure.
companies.
I'm not sure even Labour has a problem with the economic case. Labour's issue has to do with the process.
The process.
The process, yes. That's
The process.
what they've raised, yes.
Yes,
the process.
and those are the things that
that they
said.
raised issues at the board about the process
Now,
and
if-
asked that it be halted until a rectification of those issues.
Even the Labour issue, it looks like Labour, until Samuel Kujeto came out with his commentary, Labour didn't know the process was going on.
No, yeah, they didn't know that. They thought that
It
on
had
the
been
basis
halted.
of the protest at the board.
But listen, Randy, you have experience of board
yes,
management.
yes.
How many members has Labour got on the
A total of four.
Four.
Yes.
And you went to a board meeting,
Yes.
and the four of you decided that something that management had brought
Yes.
should be stopped.
Yes. Should be halted.
And you didn't follow. What was the decision of the board at that time? Was the decision of the board at that time was that it should be stopped? Because when you brought the matter, it has to be agreed at the board. What was the agreement at the board? And you have 4 members of the board. So what was the decision at that board meeting when you raised the issues? When you raised the issues and it was deliberated and your issue was rejected, whether by a vote or so, that is the process.
Well, maybe SNIT should tell us. And in any case,
Labour should tell us.
No, Labour has said that we raised
Yes.
these issues and we asked that it be halted.
Yeah.
And when you ask, what was the decision?
But they are not a majority on the board.
Yeah.
But if you are not a majority on the board and you are a minority and you're saying that your minority view should carry, is that what you are saying to us? But having said that, if you are a minority and you believe that this your view has merit and at the board level your view was not supported by the majority, that is where you should be raising these issues way back.
But that's why they said that on the 1st of May, they requested a meeting with the president to discuss SNIT.
But what thing has been going on since 2022 or 2020 something?
2023 is
It is only when Sami Okujeto raised this thing here last week
no,
that
but,
Labour
but if you listen to them, they're saying that 1st of May, which predates...
1st of May is this month.
No, but it predates Sami's expose.
Yeah, but when was this deal started?
Oh, yes.
And when did they... Anyway, the records will come. Yes. When did they ask that the process be stopped? When? The minutes will show. Anyway, I'm very happy that there's going to be a proper investigation because everybody will go there and state their case. So I'm just looking at it from what they themselves are saying. And when I look at the three
Is there a way Labour can join the case as Raj? Can they?
Oh, that would be interesting.
Can they? Does the law allow that?
Well, in any case, the board of SNIT.
Shraj can invite them.
But in any case, the board of SNIT will be invited by, because they took the decision.
No, SNIT as an organization, which includes its board.
Yes. But SNIT as an organization will not go. It is the board who will go before Shraj.
What's the management? The
management is part of the board. So they would go there and also go and make their case. And then if there's any, the minutes will show. So this thing, I don't have a problem at all. Once there's going to be an organized investigation, I don't have a problem at all. We're just thinking about the peripheral issues. So at the end of the day, let's look at the process to ensure that it hasn't been skewed because there was a big politician involved. That one, all of us are interested. I mean, I am interested that Brian Achampong did not get an unfair advantage because of his position. That should not be the case. And so I want the investigation to go on into the process. As to the issue that he should have been disqualified, you look at all the adverts, unless, of course, it's a moral issue. But if you look at all the adverts, there was nothing about disqualification. And you know, Randy, this business about politically exposed persons, Sami Okujeto has this friend, is it Maktoum or something? Once in a while, he flies that name here. Is it Maktoum?
Oh, Sheikh Maktoum.
All of these sheikhs.
He's not my friend, for the record. He's your former health minister's friend.
Okay.
A guy who took our $2.4 million
that's fine.
away
all
in
of
the name of Sputnik V.
All of these Sheikh Maktoums, these are all politically exposed people. These sheikhs who came and bought ambassador, is the ambassador now is a moving pick?
Yes.
Al-Walid and all of these are princes. These are all politically exposed persons.
In their countries.
In their countries. Yeah. So if they came here...
But they're their kingdoms.
So
they run things.
Yeah, I'm saying, so these are princes and sheikhs in Saudi Arabia and Dubai and all of that. Now, they can come here, because I'm sure this bid has been won by some Al-Walid of Saudi Arabia. Wouldn't be here. But these are all politically exposed persons, you know. So, and you see, when you look at Brian Achampong, he has a record in the hotel industry. All of us know that what he's putting up, the Rock City, that he's putting. In fact, the Kumasi thing that Sami Okujeto, he actually bought it from some person who the thing had been divested to, isn't it?
No, I'm referring to the 25%. He bought the 75% from an individual. Then
who's that individual?
Then proceeded to buy 25%
from
SNIT. So I'm referring to the
so
SNIT 25%.
So even that one, he bought it from an individual, and then from
they bought part.
So Brian Achampong, I mean, he's noted for Rock City. So he has a record in the hotel industry, isn't it?
For how many years?
Oh, you haven't been to Rock City?
No, how many years is that record?
He's building a hotel.
He's building a hotel.
You are aware it's all completed?
He says he's putting up 3,000 rooms. He's put up about 1,000. Have you been there?
So that is the outstanding record.
Yes, compared to me, I haven't built a bed and breakfast.
Oh, so
I haven't built a bed.
That's how low the standard is.
No, I'm saying
just
that
compared to you.
No, because you see, I'm saying that this is somebody who's in the hotel business, isn't it?
Now, putting up infrastructure and managing something are two different issues.
Randy,
That's the point.
I'm saying that this is somebody who is in the hotel business.
Yeah, he is.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is. He owns a hotel.
Yes. Yeah. He owns a hotel. Mm-hmm. He's put up 1,000-room hotel as we speak. Mm-hmm. So he has a record in the hotel business. He's not somebody who has no record at all. So you wonder what expertise that he's bringing to the table. But this is somebody who is in the hotel business. And he's built 1,000-room hotel. So at least he has some credibility in that business. But still, let the investigation go. Let us see and ensure that the process wasn't skewed. What I know is that his bid is at least $20 million more than the second bidder. Okay. If there are other considerations, let's look at them. If you say the valuation of the 4 hotels has not been met, let's look at them. I thought that the TUC thing was going to say that the valuation is $100 million, and they've gotten only so.
Maybe because they're seeking audience with the president.
Just keep watching the space.
To say that
it's early days yet.
Saying that the interest in 6, you don't see why it should be 6.
They're saying something.
It's early days yet. We don't have premature ejaculation.
But and what are you having?
No,
what are you having?
Wait for the right time. There's a time and a season for everything.
Don't I love my Friday panel?
There's a time and a season for everything under the sun. So the Bible says.
Okay.
Yes.
We are all waiting for the time and season.
The Son of Man has gone for his megaphone.
Yeah. The Bible days. He said he was doing SU on campus. You forgot about it.
I miss the good old days.
Yeah, look at him.
I miss the good old days, I shall be going back, of evangelism, of preaching the gospel.
The righteous shall fall 7 times.
Yes, but they shall rise. that is what matters.
We will come to your church.
Can I respond to?
A few weeks ago,
yes.
Oh, you guys, you've taken all the time. We can't even do. We're going to do
the Attorney General.
Attorney General and KPMG, but at time we can't do it. We'll wrap up on next week we continue.
So let me try.
You see that now? Now the report came. We've found about 21 things that were not contained in the president's statement.
Is that so?
From the KPMG, yes.
What items?
Plenty.
Yeah. So
I'll mention them.
So let me quickly respond to Nana Akomia's submissions, and I must say that when you listen to Nana Akomia carefully, you will wonder why SNIT itself should exist. We probably should just let private pension fund managers take over workers' contributions. If the case is that SNIT cannot manage anything. Look, let's be very careful in this country. Governments for a long time and state institutions have just been given a free pass to waste resources, to run down investments, and we allow them to get away. I cannot understand why a hotel like Labadi Beach Hotel will be doing so well, making profits under Ghanaian management, and then others are allowed to collapse. Sometimes some of us get the impression that some politicians deliberately run down state assets so that they can get their cronies or they themselves will buy them over. If these hotels are not profitable, they are useless to workers. Why is such a mad rush to have them? Check. Since the implementation of divestiture in Ghana, you hear government officials, oh, it's not good, oh, it's not worth it, oh, we are losing money, oh, we are not able to get dividends for the workers. Let's sell them. When it's time to sell, Go and check those who go and buy it and those who are associated with them. When would this hypocrisy stop? Don't you see a pattern where state assets are deliberately run down? And if these hotels are not valuable, they are useless. They don't bring workers anything. Why are these same politicians passing the back door and running for them?
Because when they are in the private sector, they manage better.
Yeah. They manage better.
Because it's their money.
Suddenly it's profitable. It is worth it.
And it's not their money.
But we don't value them. We don't value these assets when they are under state control.
Let me give you one.
This must stop.
The SNIT thing.
I only have a few minutes.
Apart from there have been plenty NDC politicians who have bought SNIT properties. And now there's an NPP politician who is also bidding for SNIT property. But look, the investment they did in many of these things, they didn't even go to politicians. The HFC, the Trust Bank, the SSBs, the Merchant Bank, all of them,
you've made all of these points. So I am against this principle that if it is a state asset, it cannot be managed well, it cannot be run well. And so let's be in a hurry to sell them. So that whole policy decision, we have to take a second look at it. The second issue that Nana Komia makes light weather of is the constitutional provisions under Article 78 and 98.
He says that can be cured.
But this cavalier, perfunctory approach. Please, these are constitutional provisions.
I have said it can be cured, or it should be cured. Have I thrown it away?
It's a condition precedent.
Son of man.
It's a matter that, before you want to engage in those matters, hold office of... Look at what the provision says. 78.3. A minister of state shall not hold any office of profit or emolument, whether private or public.
Shall not.
Shall not. Say shall.
Go on.
And whether directly or indirectly. Unless otherwise permitted by the Speaker, acting on the recommendations of a committee of Parliament, on the ground that A, that holding that office will not prejudice the work of a minister, and B, that no conflict of interest arises or will arise as a result of the minister holding that office. These are serious matters.
But let me ask you a simple. Let me ask you a simple.
And it's not an issue that it can be done anytime. Probably a day for him to leave Parliament. A day to leave Parliament, then he goes to do it.
But it
Meanwhile,
can be done.
He may have engaged in conflict of interest.
But listen,
please, let's respect the supreme law of the land.
Yes. But the SNITs aware that you as Abraham Achampong hasn't gotten this permission? Was it part of the bidding, the requirements?
Oh, it can be.
SNIT wouldn't know.
No, it cannot be.
So
it doesn't.
I think that is a responsibility on him.
On him.
Yeah, on him.
On him. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a responsibility on him, and I'm sure he will discharge that.
That is why the Speaker's attention has been drawn to this. Then look, let's deal with this matter of. You see, Nana Komia is very good at obfuscating. So he makes it look as though I have said that when you come into politics, you can't do business. You think that if the Honorable Brian Champong had gone to buy some hotel in the private space, he has got his certificate to do business and is expanding his hotels. He's going to buy Micklin, or what is the other one at East Legon? Any private hotel. You think that we will be wasting public time on these matters. So it is not about politicians doing business. It is about the conflict of interest that arises. It is about state assets being sold to politicians.
And how do you cure that?
And look, I am clear in my mind.
How do you cure that?
That the reason why the Constitution makes reference to conflict of interest and says that you need a permission from the Speaker is so that these matters are not treated lightly, are not joked with.
Okay.
Doc, I never imagined that in my relatively young life, that a few years after what the PNDC suffered under its divestiture implementation program, have you forgotten in this country what happened when it was reported that 31st December, was interested in some of those divested state assets. Have you forgotten what the MPP said? Today, Nana Komia is telling us that he is neutral. Hey!
But that's his personal view, just like you also have a personal position on the matter.
I didn't get the neutrality then. Where did he show that neutrality?
You say what, PNDC?
Yeah. I mean, this people are making it look as if I'm the only stranger in town, as if I've landed from Mars, that this is so normal. And I mean, look, we are either for conflict of interest or we are against it. And I have said that, look, the only way, and you see, a lot of politicians are not listening to the people, and we are taking the growing anger for granted. Have you followed the upheaval? Are you listening to the outrage that Ghanaians are expressing? Why do we want to bring this upon ourselves?
Will you recommend that we do an investigation stretching back?
Of course, fantastic. I'll be happy with that. I'll be very, very happy. As far back as we can go. So fine. I am surprised that people who have held this view that I have taken, now, they've held it 20, 30 years. Suddenly, it's like we take views that we can only hold on to when we are not in power, when we are not in control of the state assets. When we are put in charge of the state assets, our positions change. Suddenly we are neutral.
Which people change their positions?
Politicians can do business.
No, which people change their positions?
Are these statements coming from the MPP?
No, which people change their positions?
Politicians, some politicians.
What position?
I am shocked that this week, the MPP that has been opposed to diversity implementation since the PNDC era, and some politicians being named, including politically exposed organizations like 31st December Women's Movement. Suddenly, I am the only troublemaker in town. I mean, I would have thought that you'll be my good friends, you'll support me in this campaign,
Randy,
and we will all declare that politically exposed person should not come near state assets.
Randy, on this table, me.
I'm disappointed to hear that, Nana, you are saying that you are